Hello and welcome to Sovereign Financials, financial education for everyone.
Hey guys, welcome back to this week's episode of Sovereign Financials. I was going to do a video on how the yield curve is getting ready to invert. However, with the Robinhood announcement that they're going to be releasing a checking and savings account for 3%, I thought I'd go over that and give you a couple warnings on some issues that I see with it. So here we are on the Robinhood's website, and they say investing, checking, and savings all for free. I am a big fan of their investment platform. It allows you to buy securities like stocks or bonds without paying any fees, which is great. However, their checking and savings account, they say that you're going to earn 3% on your money, pay no fees, and you can use it at all these ATMs and everything. And it sounds really great, right? I mean, who would not want to earn 3% on the money in your checkings and savings account? That is currently more than you can get right now, even with a 10-year Treasury yield, which would be a great, supposedly safe investment. However, if you scroll down to the bottom, so whenever you put money in a bank, the bank is supposed to be a part of the FDIC, which is essentially a government entity that says if the bank goes bankrupt, that they will refund your money for you up to $250,000. So you can have up to $250,000 in any bank that is FDIC insured, which is basically all of them in the US. And if the bank goes bankrupt, no worries, the government will step in and refund up to $250,000 of your money. However, if we go down to part of the explanation of what's going on with Robinhood's thing here, is if you look here, it says every Robinhood account is protected by modern encryption, which is fine, and insured by the SIPC up to 500,000, which is and up to $250,000 in cash. Doesn't mention anything here about FDIC insurance. And if you go through all the fine print in the rest of the documentation, there is no mention. It does not. Your deposits in Robinhood are not going to be FDIC insured. Instead, they're relying on the SIPC for insurance, so which protects securities customers of its members up to 500,000, including $250,000 for claims for cash. The problem with that is the SIPC insurance is not meant to insure bank accounts. The SIPC insurance is created to insure the money and securities that you have with a company, and the money that is insured essentially has to be being used for the trading or buying of stocks and equities. So they are kind of using a little loophole here, trying to say that the money that you have in your checkings and savings account with Robinhood could be used to buy securities and therefore should fall under SIPC insurance, which is not what it's meant to do. So let's take a quick look here at the SIPC website. As you can see, it's up here, sipc.org. And it says here, SIPC protection is limited. The SIPC protects only the custody function of the broker-dealer, which works to restore its customers and their securities and cash that are in their accounts when the brokerage firm liquidation begins, which that part sounds okay. But if we come down here, it is important to recognize that the SIPC protection is not the same as protection for your cash at the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the FDIC, insured banking institution, because SIPC does not protect the value of any security. That sounds fine as well. But the problem comes down here. The SIPC protects cash in a brokerage firm account from the sale of or for the purchase of securities. So what they're saying is if the cash in this brokerage account, which would be Robinhood, is not meant specifically to buy and sell stocks, essentially, that it is not SIPC insured. And Robinhood, under their fine print, through all of this, says that they are not requiring you to actually make any investments with the money that's earning 3% interest, and therefore would not fall under SIPC insurance. Now, that was my initial opinion when I read this myself. And then, however, Bloomberg ended up talking to the CEO and also the president of SIPC, who also agrees with me. So let's take a look here. So it says here, Stephen Harbeck, president and CEO of SIPC. So if anybody knows what's going on, if this is legit or not, it would be this guy. He says, I disagree with the statement that these funds are protected by the SIPC. Had they, meaning Robinhood, called us, I would have told them what I just told you, that I have serious concerns about this. This has gigantic ramifications for the banking industry. And then down here, he continues, the statute that we administer says that we protect money with a brokerage firm, which Robinhood is, that is used for the purchase of securities, he added. On Robinhood's help page, it says that you do not, or that you don't, need to invest to use Robinhood checkings and savings. That statement is wrong. If you deposit money for any other purpose, it is not protected. So here you have the CEO and president of the SIPC specifically stating that on his interpretation, and which would probably have a very strong legal basis, that the money in a Robinhood checkings or savings account, since it is not being directly used necessarily for the purchase of securities, that it would not be insured by SIPC. So, this is kind of a legal gray zone. You definitely have Robinhood saying that, maybe it is. And if they make the argument that, well, you could, buy securities with this thing, and that's what the purpose of the account is, but you don't have to, the question is how would this play out in court? We don't, Robinhood, we don't know if it's a profitable company yet. We don't know how they're looking. I mean, it is a company that can still go bankrupt. They are a pretty new company. And this is a real concern for them. If that money is not insured, you could potentially lose everything. Now, the investments you have with Robinhood would be safe because those are securities and those are SIPC insured. That would be fine. The question comes up is the money in these checkings or savings accounts that are earning 3% interest. If Robinhood were to go bankrupt, the way the CEO of SIPC is currently saying, it would not be insured and that money would just be gone. So there's definitely some extra risk there. We'll have to see how this whole thing plays out. I expect over the next coming weeks that we'll have a formal statement from the SIPC and probably from the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission as well, and possibly Robinhood, and kind of see how this whole thing plays out. But for the time being, I'd be very careful with how much cash you put in the Robinhood checkings and savings account, as I do not believe they're SIPC insured, and neither does the president and CEO of SIPC. So that's the risk you're taking with that. I do highly recommend them for their stocks. If you're going to buy the stocks, I think it's great. There's no commissions, and if you're buying, $100 of stocks a week, the commissions of other firms like E-Trade that charge you $5 or $6 or $7 a trade, those are really going to add up and diminish your returns. So I'm actually going to put a link below about how to sign up with Robinhood. Like I said, I do recommend them for buying of stocks, which you may not want to do yet, but after the market crash happens, I think it's a good idea to use. But I would not be messing around with their 3% interest rates until we get some clarification from the SIPC and possibly the Security Exchange Commission. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, if you can come down here to the bottom corner here, hit like, subscribe, share it with your friends, appreciate it. Let's share the word. I know everybody wants this 3% interest rate, but I think we should hold off and see how the government says if it's actually protected or not. Alright, I'll see you next week. Thanks, bye.